So, let's talk about the difference, right? Honestly, this episode is very different than the anime. Probably the most different anime versus video game, yeah. So, I hope you guys subscribe, like button, right? We're gonna have a reaction, and then I'm gonna talk about different scenes, right? But seriously, this is probably the biggest difference so far. The anime here, I think, really diverges a lot from the main game storyline, because now we have the red girl. She's appearing a lot more in the episode. She's hacking their base, right? She's in there and already taking over. And this is both rewriting how the first stage starts, but it's also rewriting later on how they already have the device earlier and they have this like rumbling thing. There's supposed to be a lot of things, guys. So guys, hope you subscribe, share the reaction, guys, and then we're gonna get into all the details. Here we go. Episode 2, season 2, or episode 15, right? So last episode, of course, was very interesting because, yeah, it went into the hut, 2B is like, I'm evil now. But actually it was 2E, right? So we're gonna analyze everything again, of course, everyone. Not commands here in the orders here. But yeah, last episode interesting because it didn't go into route B. It basically explained, pre-route A, right? So we're gonna see in this episode then, I mean, it actually has to go into A2, right? But yeah, and obviously I had in my pool that I had on YouTube, guys. Go vote, guys. What do you like the most? Yeah. It's much more about Commander Waifu now. Yeah. She got so much more screen time. She's just like, yeah, I'm the main character now. Maybe they're gonna fight Commander, honestly, because there's some spin-off on that. Yeah, she's way more focused now. Certainly, this course is 2B or 2E then, the evil lady. There has to be before the first stage of the game, I guess. Like I said, we went back in time right a little bit, so this is probably before that. Well, I guess you could start Route B now then, because Route B also starts with you flying again, right? So, but you're flying on another stage instead, with of course 9S then. Yeah, it goes to opening and so on. The opening is so spoilery, and of course I said in my review of it, right? And the core people coming in defending it, coping it, yeah. Oh, it's not spoilery. Who could figure out stuff on this opening? I mean, they're literally killing each other. They're like fighting 9S and A2. I mean, some openings are less obvious, right? Obviously, but and some openings are very spoilery, like the One Piece opening where everyone falls down from the sky and exactly everyone's gonna be in the episode. So every captain is showing that order, so on. Or like the Yovashi Pedal opening, where every biker, every cyclist that the collapses are shown in a exact order, so you can who's gonna win immediately. So on, yeah, it's ridiculous. But this opening here is obviously more in that form of it, where it's like I can see it happening in the opening. Oh, she got her hair, okay. Well, yeah, got her hair. They're gonna kill each other, as you see here, right? This is obviously, yeah, like you're blind, like they're fighting, so we know they're gonna have a fight. 2B dies here in the opening. Or 2E then, but yeah, she obviously collapses there. And then we see the library and so on, the Replicant reference there. But I mean, obviously, right? The opening has so many, yeah, like, you have to be blind to see the stuff. Even on Amy only, you obviously see that she dies here in the end of the opening. Something I said in the Mustensho opening last season, yeah, it's like you can, yeah, she freaking explodes here in the last part of the opening. If you don't understand that, I mean, honestly, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. People are gonna be like, oh, he's pointing out, but at least you try. You can't see that. Talking about the opening here, she obviously is like, getting hit by the, yeah, she turned into dust and it started. So now we're back at now, guys, right? We are back here at like this is Route B, right? So now we actually have a Route B start. This is when the robot brothers are dying. Yeah, this is when you have the oil guy thing, right? So now we're playing B route then. But I guess we're gonna go way faster to B route, right? Given this episode was one. Most likely so. We're gonna have a much faster, yeah, like a B route play, right? Probably. Yeah, it's just it's just the B route now. Certainly. Play music. Let's throw it in there. Bam. Sorry about that. It's gonna fix the last video, the 2B to data video. So now they're fighting, right? Of course, it's the first stage of the game. The smoop stage. Yeah, shoot 'em up stage, right? So here, the hacking and so on. Yeah, it's just like the game. But I wonder if you're gonna see the little Mecha brothers. This classic scene with these little poor robots that are dying. He's trying to give his brother oil. Are we gonna have that scene now? I think maybe, because 9S definitely looks at them a lot in the B route. So you're gonna feel more compassion and sympathy for the robots, right? Let's see if they kept that scene, or maybe even extend it, or deported the robots. That's where you land, right? Yeah, I think so. Was it a desert they're in? No, it's a desert. I was like, another team, they're in a desert. Looks like a Yuri, yeah. It's a Yuri team. Yeah, they're like Yoshi, yeah, okay. I was like, you're pretty hot. Yeah, what was that scene? That was some Yuri nest in the desert. Okay. Now it's like some elk or something. A moose. An ellie. Maybe it's a deer girl. Oh no. But yeah, they're adding a lot of extra time to him just calling everyone here. So 9S had apparently there was a lot of phone calls before the stage started, yeah. This of course is the first stage that's unique for 9S then in the game. And I guess he had a lot of phone calls actually. He had to call all his girlfriends, yeah. He was like, oh my god, I hate all the Yora girls. Yeah. Stop calling me, okay? Goddamn waifus, stop calling me all the Yora chicks. Seriously. How many phone calls did he actually have before he went down there? He's like one phone call in the game, right? Yeah. Here's one more phone call. Man, the guy's losing his mind. He's like, I'm getting tired of it. That's why now that's went crazy. Because all these ladies kept calling him. I see, yeah. That's why he goes mentally insane later. Because all the girls keep nagging him. He's just like, I'm so tired of all the nagging waifus, right? It's all the naggers. Their fault. Yeah, he got so much nagging on him. But anyway, now he jumps. Oh no, it's her. Well, they gave so much to all the characters in this. Yeah, this is one of those older Leonas with no screen time. My god, this is badass. Yeah, they're giving them like way more screen time than they have in the game. These other Yora ladies. She kinda likes 9S, you know, I hinted there, she'd love it. She got a crush on 9S, you know, yeah, she got like a lot more screen time here. Interesting. Yeah, they're adding a lot. Also, a red girl. Maybe. Coming here infecting her, yeah. There was a red girl coming. Infecting her with a virus. Probably. So this is probably the first stage now when 9S goes through the factory, the robot factory you have in the. Or well, okay, nowadays I guess after he kills himself, I guess did itself. Factory ruins, yeah. Okay, so that's like after the first stage is finished. Okay. It's a command talking to the ghost human something. This is weird, right? Because you can hear the voices here, but it's like we know that the humans are dead kind of thing. So that's the alien base. Interesting. That's the alien base we see later in the game. Yeah, we fight Adam and Eve way further down. That's interesting. They're showing that way early now. So I mean, obviously the command has a lot more screen time. Yeah, the command has way much more screen time, right? In this thing. Yeah, obviously the commander has so much more screen time. And it's really interesting because she got the image now, obviously much later in the game, where you're fighting them under kind of where it exploded the earth. Doesn't happen in the anime at all, where you go down inside like the Vox City and after that and so on. So it's the humans and the commander's knowledge is much more extended here in the anime. The anime, I mean, overall, the commander has way more screen time, right? Commander Waifu has so much more screen time, but they're really extending also like what she knows. I mean, you're just like, oh, she knew about the alien laboratory, the human on Moon, they are all dead or whatever. They talk to her and so on. So it's much more. She seemingly has a lot more awareness of what's happening, and also use more screen time. But I mean, yeah, Commander Waifu is, because I feel like she had a lot of screen time before too. Because in the beginning of the episode, we saw more of her as well, right? So and now it's better than 9S again, kind of in the episode, like Route B kind of thing. But yeah, so it's really interesting how they're giving so much time to Commander Waifu, really. But also, like I said, how they're also changing what she actually knows, right? It motivates more why she wants E to kill 9S, but it also explains more why she wants to go down in the basement and so on. Yeah, so it's interesting. But now we're back to like fighting one of the factories and so on. Yeah, this is like the game, and you have to fight the giant robot, and you have the fighting and so like whatever. This is kind of That's clearly Pascal's voice. Yeah, because our Yuki. Yeah, but I know it's my eye Yuki shot. Yeah, is that Yuki? Yeah, is that my little evil Tanya or something? Yeah, obviously our Yuki's a very famous voice there. Minaide! Yeah, Minaide! So obviously I know it's her. Yeah, of course, 100% know it's her. It's her one voice line. She plays, you know, Diane and all the characters, right? Oh man, so the humans have, or the human defense system, they call it. They have way more artilleries now. Yeah, they're adding a lot more mechas now to, or like whatever. Yeah, like artilleries. Yeah, this is pretty badass. Like, okay, so apparently they had a. Wow, yeah, what? Wait, there's way more robots than in the game. What? It's like a swarm of these like giant robots now. Where they all explode? They couldn't nuke them. They started to take a Titan now. It's like 5,000 gigantic mecha robots trying to do the rumbling, and then the humans come from the moon with like nukes or something. Yeah, they're like, ah, we nuked the shit out of them. This is how they should do with the rumbling. This is how you defeat Eren. You just nuke shit of it. But seriously, what's happening? This is not in the game whatsoever, right? It's not in the game whatsoever. They don't have gigantic artillery. They don't have nukes. There's no rumbling. This was very, very different in the game. Very different. Suddenly, it's like 5,000, you know, you said the rumbling, right? I mean, all of this giant colossus machinery all trying to stomp down the human village city, and they nuke them. Yeah. But at least the humans here, it's not like an Eren, they actually have a solution to it. Yeah, they have artillery and nuclear power. Yeah, they're way better than in Attack on Titan. That scene was crazy. I was like, what? That was very, very different again than the game. And then Jackass, she's really happy, so on. Yeah, she's really happy. So she's obviously, these are both anime already, yeah. But I guess that it's like before, because they do mention, of course, that they had more of those robots before. They do mention, of course, in the video game that it's that the rumbling, and they do mention it was more of them before you land. But of course, it's never shown in the game that they use like nuclear power or something. They use like they had all this weaponry. And this, yeah, it's never shown, right? They have all this preparation for it. Oh, he's gonna shoot now. Yeah, of course. So there's a good mecha. Is that supposed to be him then? The guy that gives a quest? Because he helped them now. No, it's 9S hacking. It's like a 9S coming up here. It's like, oh, I'm a hacker boy. Yeah, okay. It's 9S showing off here. He's been hacking it. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, don't worry, girl, I got you. I've been a hacker. Suddenly all the Yora appears, all of them. The anime certainly makes the Yora feel way more powerful and just more competent, honestly. Yeah, it's like there are way more of them. So side note, between the commercial break here, and they had, I liked it because it was like Nier Replicant commercial. Yeah, it was like, interesting because it was like Jonna, there was just a lot of like video game. Oh, Red Girl's in the base now. This is, she kind of hacked them with the butterfly thing. Yeah, this is not the game at all. This is huge, talk about it later. This is very huge. Here they're really changing the game so much. If you see the Red Girl, they'll be hacking them, right? So we know that the Red Girl, she's the main evil, and she's the actual bad girl, right? You know, behind Adam and Eve, right? But seeing her coming in there now, that's very different, and the game doesn't have it all. And I said it earlier, last year, that Red Girl being shown so early in the anime is different because, you know, she kind of has a little bit of a Deus Machina, appears very late in the game. Very commonly in the RPG games, you have suddenly the real bad guy appears, right? Quite late. So the anime having her earlier, no, obviously the butterfly is her then. As I said earlier, the butterfly is clearly her, right? You see it like this, yeah, the red hacking butterfly, as I called it correctly than last week. So that's much more interesting now, right? Because we see her now, and she's way more shown. Oh, she's twins now, it's interesting too. Because she has 3 different forms, tripleting. Oh yeah, exactly, with fights there. But you know, I think this is so interesting because, again, they are changing something that I think is much better, right? Because it's a very common issue in JRPGs, like I said, right? That you have that the main bad girl or the main antagonist is actually, oh, it wasn't this guy. It's actually Satan not hiding behind this guy, you know? And they do this so often, right, in JRPGs, like Persona 5 or whatever. Or suddenly the last bad boy is like God or something down in the basement, right? It isn't the evil president guy, he's the second bad guy. It's actually, you know, God or whatever, like the evil mind or something. So Red Girl has that feeling to her. She appears quite late, right? Adam and Eve isn't the true bad guys, it's not alien, it's Red Girl. So here instead, in the anime now, having Red Girl being shown much more clearly, having her move around, having her hacking the system, having her like going around here behind them, stealing their stuff, hacking those Yora girls, right? That we saw, the one that's in love with 9S, she's been overtaken now by Red Girl, right? that building up her evilness and her, like, you know, what's it, her standpoint in the anime a lot better. I have to see her, you know, red girl, she's taking over these things, so on. Yeah, that's much better, right? Because again, in the game, you don't get that. In the game, it's like she kind of just appears out of nowhere. It's how it feels like. There's no foreshadowing. This is much better foreshadowing. Almost too much, honestly, but it's very in the face that she's the main bad girl in this anime. She's very much in the face, though. Almost arguably too much that she is the bad girl. Because she saw her evil smile there, and it's very different. Right? It's very different. But yeah, the rumbling keeps going here. And this is the one when they launch their... Yeah, they're coming up with big stuff. Yeah, they're coming up with their massive weaponry. I'm gonna post my otaku girl. 9SU! So they're spending so much more time on this... they're spending so much more time right on this, like I said, early bit of 9S. Kind of like, this is obviously like Route B, arguably, but this is Route B before it's still the first stage. Yeah, they're spending so much more time on like the first stage of 9S. I guess they're gonna cut a lot of 9S later. But that's his girlfriend doing stuff, yeah. Golden lady. 9S waifu's out owning stuff. It's probably her with the golden blade. Yeah, this is his girlfriend. The one that likes him. No, to keep fighting and so on. So now she's like, are we already going this path? When she hacks them all? Well, I mean, they have the red eyes though, so... Yeah. Oh, she's already being hacked. Yeah, they're showing the hacking of the red girl a lot earlier now, etc. Yeah, she's turning into the red logic now. Exactly, doing it much more clearly here in the anime. How they're turning evil. So this is a much bigger thing here in the anime. Exactly. She's getting all evil here. This is much more bigger now. Yeah, no, they kill each other by laughing and so on. Yeah, so like I said earlier, the red girl's appearance is much more clear now. Now they're all dying together and so on. But yeah, but like, you know, the Yora looked way more competent in this episode before this thing happened, right? But now this kind of explains how they're, yeah, why they're like failing or something, because they all got hacked or by the red girl. Yeah, they're killing each other. But this happens so much later in the game. Yeah, this happens in the game, like off the end of the game, when they betray you. Because now you can understand that this is happening at the first stage of the game. Another hacker guy got killed there. Yeah, it's like 9S brother, like B8S or something. Yeah, it's like another version of them. But I think they're gonna skip over a lot of other stuff later now, right? They're gonna skip over probably a lot of the 9S stuff that happens after this, because they can't spend so much time on this. Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't gotten so much of A2 yet, you know what I mean? So you probably have to jump into her and Pascal and so on later, right? Because now there are a lot of 9S here. Yeah. I'm just kind of hoping that we get a lot of... Oh, the twins are there. Interesting. They get too. Yeah, they get some healing screen time there. It's weird too because you can almost use magic too. Yeah, they were like healing them with like magic something. They looked weird. They wasn't like they were healing them with some kind of green ball or something, and then they shoot them down. They go crazy. But I think it's interesting too that they had the twins doing some kind of ancient magic stuff. Oh, he got actually free from it. His eyes turned blue again. How did that work? I don't know. He kind of managed to free himself. Yeah, he managed to like. He's obviously gonna. Yeah, he's gonna kamikaze, of course. To like, but he almost kind of he got free there in a way. He managed to like. I don't know. It looked like he almost got free from the virus. But yeah, the twins have a lot more screen time here now. Yeah, that never happens in the game. They don't see them do much until the end of the game, right? The twins. They're obviously, if you play the original Nier and then or the remake, obviously the twins, the Vola and Popola, they are very important in the Replicant game, and they have a lot of screen time then. A few enemy onlys here. Yeah, a few enemy onlys here. The twins are very important in those games. And not only important, but they have a lot of screen time. Basically, the twin is like your quest giver. I think the easy way to explain it, without to spoil too much, is that the twins are like the mayor of Village Nier, basically. And they give you all the quests, more or less, in the game. Not all the quests, but like half the quests or whatever. In the beginning of the game is given by the twins. And one is like the mayor, the other one is like I guess she's like the bartender. She's the minstrel. She's like the singer or music player, whatever, at the bar. Yeah, she runs like the bar or something, and she's the mayor. And they kind of together then own the city and run they kind of like they control the city. You play the game, you live it for your sisters or so. Yeah, they're quite important in the game. Basically gives you all the quests, yeah. You can hear someone moaning here. I guess is it her, his girlfriend? No, it's another hacker dude. Thought it might be like the girl that likes him, because she was shown like twice fighting down there. But okay, he's gonna 11S. Okay, it's 11S. So she's trying to understand 11S here, but it feels like the anime might go on a different route here, right? With 9S perhaps curing the red logic or something. I probably have some memory of 11S here. Yeah, the backup data is being ruined. Oh, now I finally remembers 2B killed him or something? Because he said like 2B. Now I was like, wait a minute, is that what 2B killed me? Yeah, now it's like, wait a minute, happened to me in my last life. Yeah, now it's like, wait a minute. That sounds weird. I don't know, or he just like remembers that 2B has no memory. Or he's afraid that 2B will die. Mission failed, yeah. Or it's gonna be like that he remember. Yeah, but it kind of hints that, okay, like I don't have. We need the backup data, right? So you can like revive themselves, right? So they can like re-revive. I mean, obviously, the reason the 9S right has died more than once, right? Not the final death of him, but like the kind of the looping death that we have in the beginning of the game and so on, right? Is of course because he kind of dies in the first stage of the game. He dies and then can like build a new body, right? Using his like basically the internet, yeah, like I saved my memory in a data file, right? So that's kind of like, oh no, this red logging thing is hacking and ruining the memories, which also means that if you die, you actually die, right? Yeah. But that's not really what's important for nights later, though, or to be. No, because when 2B dies, she doesn't even die that anyway. But that's not why she dies and have no memory of her, right? I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but in the game, it's more than that, because 2B's death is like really ran out, and it's not about just that she dies from having no memories left. No, it's more complicated than that. It's just about the red logic. But like I said, I mean, obviously the red logic is much more shown here. Talking about it now, of course, in the review part. I'm just gonna see. I mean, yeah, it's like 2B is dancing, and I think it's interesting. I said last week that she looks a lot like Jonna, right? Sister Nier. I should say, right? Sister Nier, right there. She looks a lot like Sister Nier, and that's kind of what we have to talk about. But anyway, let's review it. So it's quite different, right? I keep saying it's quite different, but let's break it down then, guys, for you anime only and also, of course, game fans, right? So it is very different, and I think the biggest important thing here, right, that really matters, is, again, as I mentioned earlier, that the red girl now is very, very focused as being the main antagonist, right? So what I mentioned earlier, and I say it here in detail now, then, right, is that you know what I mean. I mentioned the Persona 5 earlier, but I can sit here and rabble up, every goddamn video game basically, right? FF9, great example of that. Suddenly X-Death appears, kind of thing, right? So many JRPG games have this trope of, this is the bad guy. He's like the Dark Knight or whatever. They defeat the Dark Knight, and actually this other guy was behind him, right? So very commonly you have a kind of Darth Vader, and you have the Emperor Palpatine, right, being behind him. That's very, very common. That's basically almost every JRPG game, right? Like Seiken 3 also has Dark Knight and the Dragon Emperor, which is straight up taken from that, because the author, or the writer of that game likes Star Wars and said it in an interview. So we know straight up that's from Star Wars. But it's a very common, right? But even more so, do you have this like secret bad guy, you know what I mean? Kind of a dark god. Oh, well, you defeated me, but actually it's Satan was powering me up, So it's something Steve said in Dragon Quest games. They love that shit, Like you defeat the bad guy in DQ8, and then he dies, and suddenly here come the demon lord was behind him. So he actually was a nice guy, you know. DQ11, you have to beat it 3 times. You defeated evil demon lord, but then suddenly the guy was a demon lord actually was fighting this alien, and the alien is the bad guy point. So I actually really enjoyed here how Red Girl now is coming in here, right, in the anime way more earlier. We saw a little briefly, right, in last season. Now she's hacking them, she's fighting them, she's making the turn evil. And this really matters, right, because now we're getting away from this classic issue of having this, like, oh, suddenly here's the real bad guy after 10, you know, whatever, right? Now we're having the main antagonist actually being more active, being more into the storyline, instead of her suddenly appearing at the end of like the 10% left of the game, right? So this difference is very, very big difference here in the anime, and I much prefer it that now with the anime, you know, builds her up as a real antagonist instead of, again, then just throwing her in the last minute, right? So that for me seems to be the biggest difference at all, overall, whatever you call it, because it feels like Yoko Taro is like, yeah, you know, he wants to have the Red Girl as the main antagonist, as the real bad girl behind all the wars, and he couldn't really explain it, I guess, in the end of the game because she kind of is introduced too late, I would say, right, you know? It's not that much. If the game was longer, let's say that if the video game was, let's say, 5 more hours, right? So you get to the last dungeon, you kill 9S or whatever, right? You have all the storyline, and then you fight the last boss and so on. But let's say there was another dungeon after that, right? You have to fight the Red Girl, you have to fight Adam and Eve in space or whatever. Then I think the storyline with Red Girl would have probably turned out better, straight up, you know. Because the problem isn't that she kind of like is there or whatever, right? It's that she comes too late. And again, yeah, it doesn't like she had a little more time, you know, afterwards, right? I don't mind when she appears in the video game or what she does or whatever. It's more that, again, like I keep saying, she does that. Oh, I'm actually the super evil alien god demon lord that appears suddenly out of nowhere and fights you, right? If she had that, and then and there was more like a final dungeon or another city you went to or something with some more. Maybe even some more cycles in between that, and then you go and fight her or whatever, right? Or her true form or something. Then I think it will work out better. And honestly, I think that a remake with Red Girl, like if they probably will, of course, remake Automata one day, right? Obviously, because it's so much money and so on. I'd rather, of course, have a sequel. But I mean, if they ever remake it, I could see them definitely ending like a final super dungeon after the tower, of course, right? And then, you know, then it's more storyline on her and Eve and so on. Very likely, right? Certainly so. For example, Trials of Mana remake. In Trials of Mana, they added a completely new dungeon. So after you beat Trials of Mana, the original storyline of the game, then you get this like dark dungeon where you have to fight like the dark goddess of Mana, and she has appeared in other Mana games, not in the original Seiken. Then she basically is like the true evil of that universe, right? And she is now then a secret boss and a whole dungeon of her, right, in Seiken 3 then, or Trials of Mana and the remake. That makes a lot of sense because, you know, you can kind of easily explain how, well, actually, this, the evil goddess of darkness, she's always up, alive behind the curtain because she inspires the bad guys to do stuff, and she sent them some weapons or whatever. Okay, I can buy that story like that. Well, actually, the Dark Prince, the reason he has this specific spell, because she gave it to him and he could take over the land. Okay, whatever. That's like a little rewrite, but that kind of makes sense, right? So hope for something like that, right? But anyway, so obviously that's a massive change here. It's very different, right? Yeah. Having all this stuff here, having the Yora go crazy, killing each other, right, and so on, is much more prolific in that sense. And like I said earlier, we also, of course, see a lot more of Commander Waifu. She gets more screen time. And not only, I think, for some reason, obviously she gets more screen time because of Red Girl. It's a little bit inherent because they're showing more of the Commander bridge, right? In this anime, obviously then, it gets more, time on top of the space station, right? I mean, and that actually makes sense from a video game standpoint, because a video game, you're never really fighting in the station, right? There's no actual stage in your home, basically, so to speak. And I don't mean your home down with the base at Earth. I mean like your space station base, right? There's never actually a fight there. Ergo, you don't spend so much time there, right? It's a little bit storyline, and you leave and go down again, yeah. So in the anime now, we have a lot more like focus on Commander and the other girls working up there and so on the bridge. So that obviously is a lot more time on them just in general. So, but overall though, I think what's important more so, as I mentioned earlier, is that they also know more. Yeah, it wasn't just that, oh, here's Commander, she's doing something. No, it's more like, no, she knew about the aliens. this has to be way before. So what that means is that she actually knows a lot more than she says then, right? I mean, obviously she assassinated 9S and so on, etc. But I mean, like, yeah, because we as a player are never told that the aliens are dead. You know what I mean? The aliens that are behind the robots are dead, but she clearly had the image of that, so that was very clearly shown for her, which means that the leaders of the Yora actually knew they were fighting. So it is quite different, and honestly, that change to me, which they applied it, it's not a good change, honestly, because in the game it's more like, oh, the Yoras or even the commands are fighting pointless aliens to think are alive, kind of thing, right? But now it's like, well, she knew they were dead. Why would she be fighting them in that way? Then, yeah. So this is a little stupid. I would rather have the evil, not the evil guys, but the good, confused guys would rather not know the truth, so to speak. I don't know. It's a little bit weird, honestly. Not the best change, I would say. But it was a little bit implied there. It wasn't like, oh, she knows everything. It was like, obviously, like 6 screens behind her or in front of her. One of them has the dead aliens. Oh, okay, I guess they knew that. But quite a big change, though. I mean, otherwise, we kind of saw 9S landing on Route B, right? That's where you jump out in the factory and you play 9S, his new stage. And I say it again, people haven't played the game. A lot of people are shit on this game, right? Because oh, it's repetitive, you replay it. No, not really. Yes, you have to replay some stuff in your B route, but usually people haven't played the game. Like 9S stage there is another stage, right? So yeah, it's a factory, but there are 2 different factory stages. They're not the same at all. So when you start playing a second playthrough there with 9S, as you saw him standing on that, getting on the phone calls, that's a new stage for him then, that the she didn't have, and his smoop stage is inside of the factory too, basically. So it's not a smoop stage as well. So no, the game isn't as repetitive, and then you get some parts that is repetitive though. So it's a little bit, but I said in the last video, but it's much better than Replicant. Replicant, you actually literally have the exact same thing. Yeah, in the original Nier, you actually do have, like, when you replay it, you have to do the exact same thing again, exact same stage. But that's not how this game, Automata, works. It's a much better game. And also, of course, 9S have different mechanics. I think the biggest difference, though, is that, yeah, from a gaming standpoint, 9S do have different game mechanics, right? So even if you replay a stage, it's kind of like playing Mega Man 0 versus Mega Man X. Well, it's the same stage, but you're playing as 0 or X, and you have different abilities. They're obviously similar, but they're not exactly the same. So it's a different boss fight and so on, right? Even though it's obviously similar. So yeah, honestly, Automata is a lot better. I mean, I played the original Nier, right, when it was out back in the days, and then I played Replicant, of course, after I played Automata, and Replicant sucks. No, but I recommend people playing it. It's a good story. From a story aspect, it's a good game, but from a mechanical-wise game, you really feel how it hasn't aged really well, because when it was new, it was good. It was very unique and different, right? But then when you replayed it, or you played the remix, so to speak, it was like, it was good, but when you have to then do the looping thing, the 5 loops, you kind of like, you know what, Automata was just way better here, because again, they changed the character, you have 3 different playable characters, and they're different boss fights, and different angles, yeah, and then an Replicant side, and you're only playing as Brother Nier the whole game. It's it's it doesn't really work. So honestly, I mean, I love the Nier games, but I sit aside on here. Replicant should have had you play like Kane or something, yeah, for like a loop, the remake. Yeah, the remake should have had you have to play Kane now for 5 hours. That would have been so much better, yeah. Like that would have been a much better remake, honestly, yeah. They should have had something like that. It's a big mistake from them. Purely from a gameplay standpoint, it is obviously it's graining playing Replicant, honestly. But I still love it from a story aspect, right? And last week, of course, when they had, for example, the desert dungeon was really interesting. How they had more parts from Replicant that we don't see actually in Automata. That was really cool. Now, lastly, what I think will happen next episode. I think we're gonna have to jump ahead a bit here. They had the explosion now, and we had 9S getting killed almost, yeah, with Emilio and so on. We have seen, of course, A2 more than once, right? Then we see her fighting. I think we have to jump ahead a bit eventually, and maybe it's me hoping a bit here, but I'm hoping that, as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna have more storyline, after the pillar, right? I'm hoping we're gonna have more storyline after the tower pillar, whatever you call it. I wanted to be a little bit extra after that, right? So I'm hoping we're gonna get into A2 as the main character soon, honestly. I don't think it'll be next episode, but I think it'd be great if A2 becomes the main character, or the new protagonist, we call it then, in episode 4, right? In this core 2 here. Because we have to still spend like at least 4 or 5 episodes on her. Yeah, it does feel a little bit like, when are we gonna get her to be the main girl, right? They keep still having her in the background, and I think we need to, because if you play the game, you're basically playing her by now, yeah. So it feels a little bit like it is time, I would say, to start having A2 as the protagonist. But I'm guessing it happened in episode 4, or should be 17, I guess, 16, whatever the number is. What do you guys think? And guys, hope you subscribe. And have a great day.